So I was working on a 2003 Polaris Sportsman 700 twin, and I'm just getting an oil leak coming out of somewhere, and I think I've diagnosed it today, but it seemed like it was coming out of where the fill tube goes, where the dipstick is. But if you just take out your oil filter here, then there's two mounting screws here, one down here, and it just this where the tube goes in, this sits in here. There's an O-ring on the end of that. It slides down into there. This is actually the second time this has happened. Where this mounts, I don't know if it's the vibration of the motor or what, but it puts a cut in here. This is the second one I've had. It just vibrates. The last one I had rubbed through and was causing an oil leak. So I don't know if there's a solution to that. Looks like it's just rubbing right here as it wraps around the corner. So if you have any solutions on maybe a buffer or anything to put in there, we'll see once if there's anything I can come up with. But the oil leak was actually coming from, looks like O-ring was bad, and it's a little boogered up there, just some vibration. So new fill tube, and that should do it. So what I ended up doing is putting a new O-ring down in the bottom where the fill tube goes into the block, and putting some high temp gasket around that O-ring as well. And then here where it was rubbing the fill tube, putting a cut in it, I just put a good bit of gasket maker in there where it meets the belt housing, and it was rubbing it. So I just put a thick bead of that in there. Gonna let that set up before I ride it or anything. So maybe just give it a little bit of a buffer there. We'll see if that works. Well, I let it sit for 24 hours, rode it, and no oil.
That good.
So I did put a little gasket sealer there to help it keep from rubbing. And been sitting here for about 10 minutes and no oil underneath it. It's just grass.